Anniversary of living in New York.
It's where originally from.
I
It's very,
You're
very, we're from New York, but it's very expensive and very crowded.
Yes, indeed. What part of the city are you from?
We were both in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, and then we lived on Island where we moved.
My grandmother's from Queens, and both my parents grew up on Long Island, Shoreham and Port Jefferson.
Oh, okay.
Sheila's echoing.
Hi, everybody.
Was everybody hearing an echo?
Some echo.
And it doesn't snow here.
We hate cold weather.
The echo is gone. Yay.
Good. Thank you.
Is the echo back when I unmute my mic?
Hello?
Is it echoing now?
Yes.
Ah, it's on my end. Let me go check on my cables and make sure that everything is correct.
Super.
How are y'all? Sheila and Peter, haven't seen y'all in a long time.
We're okay. How are you?
I've seen them.
Yeah, they come to 10 at noon.
Well, I missed them the past couple times because I
Yeah.
wasn't able to be there.
Did your son come to Houston after all?
I'm sorry.
Did your son come to Houston? They never came. They were coming for Passover. They never
Yeah, no, we haven't seen them since last December.
last December. Oh,
We FaceTime, but yeah, it's just that can't do anything about it. So, how's your family doing?
our family's doing fine, and the children are all in virtual learning, and I guess it's okay.
Is Peter behaving himself? Does he have pants on today?
He said no.
Okay.
Okay, Hannah, you want to try now?
Am I echoing? Yes.
I think I might be the echo. I need to have this particular sound setting for when I sing, but I think when I talk, it makes it echo. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's okay. We love you anyway.
Thanks. I love y'all too.
You don't know it yet, but we're going to make you move to Houston and be with us forever.
Sure. Alan, you're muted. You're muted. I can't.
Only technologically.
Alan, did I
Shalom.
did I see your name in the Houston Chronicle yesterday?
I think it was yesterday, but yes, recently.
Yes. When more people are here, I'd love for you to tell that story.
Well, I'd be delighted to. I actually, just a short while ago, got off an oneg with the AJC Dallas Board of Directors, who invited me to come give some reflections of knowing Ruth Bader Ginsburg before she was the notorious RBG, and I'd be delighted to.
You knew Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
It was in the Houston Chronicle yesterday.
She was my professor and faculty advisor at Columbia.
Wow.
Will you speak at a Hadassah meeting?
Sure.
A Zoom meeting?
You've got engagements now.
Yeah, really. Let's
Oh my
speak
God, that's so
speak
cool.
to my agent.
Okay. Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, okay. Let's see now. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Oh wow, thank you. Wow.
We're not muted. Oh, yeah.
Hi, Richard.
Hi there.
Hi, disappearing Jerry.
Where's Jerry?
He's
He's
in space. He's in space where he usually is. There he is. There.
He's spaced out.
The space cadet. Yep.
Y'all gotta stop smoking that stuff you grow in your backyard.
Hey, it's not that we don't disappear for ourselves. So if we're disappearing
It
for
must-
you, it's what's in your backyard.
Exactly.
Richard, did you hear me talking with Alan Van Fleet?
No,
Do you subscribe to the Houston Chronicle?
no.
Well,
Wall Street Journal.
you missed a fabulous section of it yesterday about his association with Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh,
Oh, really?
I'm gonna get it out of our recycle basket because I must have, no, I mean, I didn't see
You
that.
know what, Alan? I
Yes,
usually put it in recycle, but because your name was you were featured in there in a big part, I kept that.
oh, you're
No,
too
I
kind.
didn't see it. I missed it. So I'm gonna get
You're
it
too
out.
kind. Well, of course, it's on the Chronicle digital edition forever.
Hmm. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? I said, there can't be two Alan Van Fleets. There just can't.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have said that with great relief.
Yeah, I'm
Harry.
really, I would love to hear you talk about your association with her in the future.
Well,
In
should
the
we start doing that? I could do that.
Well, wait for a few more people to come on.
Okay, doke.
Because it's
Yeah,
so,
but-
so you won't have to repeat it. Hi, Karen.
Cappy and Harry and Karen. Who are muted.
Hey, Hannah.
Happy and Harry.
Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Hello.
Hello, hello.
I have a
this
friend.
is Stacy.
I have a friend who may be joining us. Her name is Janae Odell. So we'll see if she comes online. She's pitched in before at CSK working in the babysitting room.
Oh,
So her aunt is my boss.
Really?
Yeah. So let's see.
Hey, she was great.
We have to behave ourselves.
Oh,
Hi, Karen.
Hey.
so hopefully she'll sign on.
And this
Huh,
question.
You're not gonna get it, why are you?
hey there. Lisa Franklin.
Yeah, I'll look in a minute. I've got.
Oh, that's
my
not your
brother's.
friend.
The Chuck went to rehab yesterday. It's the anti-Amy Winehouse song. I'm going to rehab. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I'm looking for the article on cron.com, but I can't find it.
There's Hannah.
Well, cron.com is a horrible, unusable site. Let me.
Yeah,
That really is.
God, Jay. Is that Jay?
that's Jay. See if you can find it and share it in the link. Share it in the chat.
Stand up. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Scruffy.
Try.
I see Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Hopefully she'll unmute herself.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm echoey over here, but hello.
When she unmutes, I'll echo.
That's why I'm staying on mute.
Yeah, when we talk, when she's on unmute, it echoes.
So Jay, are you headed to our part of the universe? You're muted, so you have to unmute to tell us if you're headed
Yes.
our way.
I'll be there. Yeah, I'm 3 light years away.
That's great. That's great. I was going to say, we'll hold down the fort, but we're looking forward to you buzzing by.
Hi, Jody.
Okay, Alan, there are enough people. Tell us your relationship.
Okay, here we go. So in 1974, I go up to New York to start Columbia Law School. I had grown up mainly in Huntsville and San Marcos, Texas, small towns. Had gone to college at Rice at a time when it was best known for sheltering its students behind the hedges, and suddenly I find myself in New York City and starting law school. And very, very early on that fall, I get a note, as I recall, it was kind of fancy, in my campus mailbox inviting me to meet my faculty advisor, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
So this is Professor Ginsburg in the class of 77, the 1974 edition of the Columbia Law School Facebook. And, this is way before she's the notorious or even famous RBG. We knew this small group that was invited to be her invitees, and she invited us over to her apartment that night. There was no internet research. There was no Wikipedia article on her. What we did know is that she was the only tenured professor at Columbia. She was only, who was a woman. She was only one of 2 women professors in the entire law school. And we kind of vaguely knew something about her niche practice in equal rights for women. Now, if this looks kind of, dated for RBG, let me say, this is what I was looking like in that same Facebook, right? So it was a few years ago. So I'll just tell you this one story and then skip on the others. So that night, this small group of us went to her apartment, and there had been, some in the group who were really into, rocketing their careers toward Wall Street. And what those who were in the know told us is that, yeah, we're sure Professor Ginsburg is good and all, but she is married to Martin Ginsburg, and he is one of the best recognized tax lawyers, not just in the city, but the whole country. And people go to him and people go to him and really pay him the big bucks. And I'm really kind of excited, one of the guys said, to meet such a big time lawyer. So we went, as I recall, their apartment was on the west side, maybe in the 70s. I think we walked down kind of a crisp fall evening, went up the elevator. It wasn't a very tall building. And Professor Ginsburg greeted us. Now, the reflections, the bios, the portraits of her all describe her as saying, oh, she was so small. She's so diminutive. This is before she had her superhero cape, and she was, the same size as my mother. She had maybe an inch on my mother, maybe 2 pounds on her. And so to me, totally normal sized person. She let us in, and she pointed to her husband, the great tax lawyer, Martin Ginsburg, and said, that's Marty in the kitchen. He was there wearing an apron, kind of whipping up some hors d'oeuvres and pouring some wine. She says, I don't cook, Marty cooks. Trust me, you don't want my cooking. So Marty came out in his apron, served, I'm sure it was far better wine than I'd ever experienced in my life, and some really nice heavy hors d'oeuvres. We were sitting around in a semicircle, plates on our knees, and Professor Ginsburg, who is very quiet, very reserved, did go around and asked us where we were from and what did we do this summer. And most of my fellow advisees were from the New York or New Jersey area, had gone to Ivy League schools, and most had like jobs, menial jobs in very big name law firms in New York. I was at Sullivan Cromwell and pushed a basket with files, and it came to me, and I said, well, I was the bartender at the Red Garter Saloon in Lubbock, Texas. and people kind of giggled. And I said, well, no, wait a minute. The Red Garter was the unofficial headquarters for the North Texas chapter of the Banditos motorcycle gang. And they're really kind of looking for me to come back and be their in-house counsel, you know, when I'm finished up here. And I do remember Justice Ginsburg, you know, very proper with her hands folded on her lap saying, well, that's very interesting. Years, you know, that summer I'd work in her employment rights project clinic. She was not there that summer. It was actually headed up by Harriet Rabb, an associate dean who hails from Bel Air, Texas, ironically. And then I didn't take her constitutional law class till my third year, but what I would share with you are the notes I took from her class on Roe versus Wade. And contrary to any movie version, she did not stand up and say, women finally have the right to control their bodies and this is the right thing. And she may have assumed that we all knew that, but what I do remember is her picking apart the opinion and going step by step to make sure that we all understood in arguing these kinds of things, it wasn't enough to act like a policymaker saying it's a good idea for women to control their bodies, though of course she and everybody else recognizes the counter policies that are involved, but made sure that we realize that any kind of argument like this, like any other constitutional right, has to be grounded somewhere in the Constitution, has to be founded in the precedents. And so what I remember from her is a much quieter picture. As I say, it was before she donned the RBG superhero cape, but she was a incredibly meticulous, precise lawyer who wanted to make sure that we got those skills, not just the good end result, but how do you get there?
Now, thanks, Alan. Awesome.
My pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, are we ready to have services? Rabbi, you're not, we can't hear you.
I want to welcome Janae Odell tonight. She's online somewhere, and I want to welcome her. Bless you.
Well, Holly, we're waiting for you to do services.
Baruch atah Adonai. Rabbi Scott, where are you? We can't hear you. 1 minute. Oh.
So we're doing services through Zoom tonight. Is that my understanding? We're not going somewhere else?
Yes.
Well, you can see it on YouTube and you can see it on Facebook.
But you don't have to do that.
But you don't have to do that. No.
Okay.
So I put the link to Alan's article in the Zoom chat. If you want to copy it and read it
now. Yes. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Rabbi.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. Apparently, I need a little bit more training by Grant to use our other equipment. I thought I had it all together, but apparently everything fell apart, so I had to just rely on the computer. But just you have to imagine a much wider, lovelier shot of the whole banner. But I'll figure that out the next time. But you can hear me, yes?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Shabbat. Welcome to Shabbat Shuvah. I hope your week since Rosh Hashanah has been meaningful. I hope it has been filled with lingering thoughts that have invited you into a journey towards teshuvah. Tonight is called Shabbat Shuvah, the root of the word teshuvah meaning repentance, but shuvah means to turn, to shift, to try to change our direction, even if just a little bit, in order to get on a path that might better be aligned with our most cherished values. I'm really happy to welcome Hannah to our group tonight. It's been a real privilege to have Hannah on board for the last 3 years, and particularly over the last 6 months, and even especially over the last 3 months and 2 months. The videos that I think all of you have enjoyed and have, I think, been inspired by. Those videos were all the creation of Hannah. I mean, she had Andrew and Kelly and Daphne and Leo helping out, providing, but she really created, I think, something brand new out of those with those videos. A different way of looking at and experiencing our prayers. So I'm so glad to welcome her back to our scene, and we're going to open this evening with Or Zarua. Hannah?
Unmute.
Now is the time for turning. Now is the time for turning. The leaves are beginning to turn from green to red and orange. The birds are beginning to turn and are heading once more toward the south. The animals are beginning to turn to storing their food for the winter. For leaves, birds, and animals, turning comes instinctively. But for us, turning does not come so easily. It takes an act of will for us to make a turn. It means breaking with old habits. It means admitting that we have been wrong, and this is never easy. It means losing face. It means starting all over again, and this is always painful. It means saying, I am sorry. It means recognizing that we have the ability to change. These things are terribly hard to do, but unless we turn, we will be trapped forever in yesterday's ways. Lord, help us to turn from callousness to sensitivity, from hostility to love, from pettiness to purpose, from envy to contentment, from carelessness to discipline, from fear to faith. Turn us around, God, and bring us back toward you. Revive our lives as at the beginning, and turn us toward each other, Lord, for in isolation there is no life. Our next piece that we will enjoy together is the video of Elohai Netzor, a prayer with which we seek God's help in guarding our tongues. Perhaps one of the worst person-to-person sins is talking about others, trying to make ourselves feel better by putting others down, and by involving others in our own efforts to feel better. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can watch. I gotta make sure to share the sound. Okay. This should be it. Are y'all not seeing anything?
We have a green screen.
Yep. Okay. Hold on a minute. Yep. This is one of those fun parts of technology. Hold on a moment, please. Talk amongst yourselves. I will be right with you. Just a second. Thank you for your patience. It's coming. Just a moment. I have to get it from online, so hold on a second. Just breathe right now. Relax. Appreciate that Shabbat is here. Connect.
I'd love to play a little music for that.
That would be
meditation.
Come on. Yeah.
Elohai, Elohai, Netzor li shoni meira, Netzor li shoni meira, Usvatai miraber merma. My God, guard my tongue from evil. Guard my tongue from evil, and my lips from deceitful speech. V'lim kalai nafshi tidam. V'lim kalai nafshi tidam. V'lim kalai nafshi tidam. V'nafshi ke'afar lakol tiyeh. To those who curse me, let my soul be silent. To those who curse me, let my soul be silent. To those who curse me, let my soul be silent. Let my soul be to all like the dust. Elohai, Elohai, Petach libi b'toratecha. Petach libi b'toratecha, ובמצוותיך תרדוף נפשי.
We continue with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And we continue with Lachadodi.
La 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 lachadodi. La 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 ligrat kala. La la la
And we continue with Baruch. Hannah, you're muted.
Muted.
Hannah, you're muted.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Sweet God, thank you for providing me with the therapy of failure, so that I might learn from you the meaning of success. Thank you for burnishing contrition into my daily thoughts, and for making me increasingly unimpressed with myself. Thank you for degrading the value of a byline in favor of a not just walking by another person, who look to me for substance and not schmaltz. Thank you for providing me with a second chance to live a life of purposeful creativity rather than for the purpose of creating an image. Thank you for lowering my voice and for guiding me to the wisdom of silence. Thank you for helping me to turn the page and to actually read the transcripts of other people's pain. But even more so for instructing me to realize that you created us one by one, and not for making me the one, Thank you for being patient with my need for attention and for nudging me in the attention of others and their cogent words and healing hands and quiet accomplishments that surpass all the noise I used to make, that I pray you now receive as a glad sound. We continue with
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all of thy might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in thy heart, shall be in thy heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou risest up, and when thou liest down, and when thou liest down. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates, that ye may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
We've come to the point of our service when we invite simchas, which we weren't able to do, of course, last Friday night because we were, celebrating Rosh Hashanah and we were on, the big system and all. But I wanted to make sure that we do it tonight. So if you have simchas that you would like to share, I would really encourage you to put them into our chat. And if they come up quickly enough, then perhaps I'll be able to read them aloud. But please share if you'd like. Maybe they'll be coming through. So my simcha, I'm going to share with you first. My simcha comes from that incredibly important groundbreaking TV show called The A-Team. The one that starred Mr. T. And there was a point at which the colonel would always say, "I love it when a plan comes together." with a big cigar out of his mouth. And I wanted to just say that I love it when a plan comes together. There have been so many people who have been working in unison to make our holidays work. And I am just incredibly excited that I'm excited for Yom Kippur. So our simchas are coming through. Susan Nerlov, she placed her 4th League of Women Voters voter registration box today. It's good. It's better than having voted 4 times. The deadline to register to vote in the November election is October 5th. Make sure that you are signed up to vote and registered to vote. We have a big thank you to Hannah. Yes, thank goodness the Westbury Meyerland neighborhood did not flood. We have remarks from Chuck Thrall. That's fantastic. And the nice tribute about Abraham. Yes, we were very excited about that. That was very cool. Abraham is the student athlete of the week this week at the University of Alabama Adapted Athletics department. Let's see, are there any others coming through? And Marion is very excited that they did not flood. And yes, and wonderful news about Chuck. And Janet, yes, we are excited that your house did not flood as well. Let's hear it for those that didn't flood and that the waters parted away. And therefore let us sing Micha Mocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Shabbat Shva. It is the Shabbat of turning, of refocusing, and reimagining. And we try to draw strength from those who came before, upon whose shoulders we stand and see farther as a result. We pray to God, who is the God of our ancestors, our physical ancestors and our spiritual ancestors. What are the things that we would like to change? And how might we get there? Not with a big change, but with a small shift. How might we get there if we are patient with ourselves and allowed ourselves months to make the change instead of days or hours? What does that look like? What's the small change upon which we can build? May we carry these prayers into our Amidah.
Ananana שפתי תפתח Ananana ופי יגיד תהילתך Ananana אדוני Ananana שפתי תפתח Ananana ופי יגיד תהילתך
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah Elohei Rachel Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor VeHaNorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekunei HaKol Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי כל אתה רב להושיע. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמנת לחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. If you're standing, I invite you to please be seated. And I invite you to enter into a bit of silent reflection. Trying to build on that kavanah, that intention that I shared with you at the beginning of this prayer. What does one small shift look if you are moving towards change? As we continue these prayers, focusing on ourselves, we extend them outward to focus on others. If there are people in your lives who are in need of healing, I invite you to write in their names to our chat. As we send out prayers for healing towards them. And I really encourage you, put their face in your mind, or their faces. Try to bring them into your heart. Try to envision it. Try to imagine it. Try to literally draw in their soul into your heart and see if you can watch it enter. and draw comfort and wholeness from your prayers. It's like send it in their direction. Please be sure to read the names in the chat one at a time, allowing their names to reverberate in your minds and in your hearts as we sing Misha Berach.
מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Mi shebeirach imotenu, מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
I would like to now pass this up along to Colin Brokaw, member of our leadership team, who's going to share with you announcements for the upcoming events.
Hey guys, am I unmuted?
Yes.
Good. Okay. I have a few announcements on the upcoming Yom Kippur that I would like to share, written by the rabbi, so let's all settle in. Yom Kippur is, of course, this Sunday night and Monday, but we wanted to bring to your attention something very special, which are the spiritual toolbox workshops that will take place not on YouTube with the live stream, but with very particular and specific Zoom links. They begin Monday at 1:15 and run until 2:30. There's a lot of great topics here. The first I have is parenting young children through this challenging time. I will be signed up for that one. Meditation, imagery, yoga, gardening, housing justice, and finally art, because regardless of time, we all need more art in our lives, I think. The workshops begin at Zoom, like I said, at 1:15, and you won't be able to join one unless you've signed up previously on our website with a specific link. So if you go to the homepage, that has all the information, anything you would want to know about Sunday night and Monday. So check there, please. Kol Nidre is Sunday, 7:30 to 9 p.m. and Yom Kippur is Monday, the 28th. Monday morning's family service, highlighted by the mini musical Oi story. Yep, that is what I said. Begins at 9:15 a.m. and our morning service should begin about 10 a.m., as the mini musical from this last weekend chosen, as much as my kid is annoyed by the movie, she had a blast and had so much fun watching that. So I hope you guys can tune in. We have a special addition to our Yom Kippur offerings this year from 12:45 to 2:30 p.m. on the YouTube live stream. The Ark will be open for those who wanted to take some time and sit and meditate. I would recommend getting your sitting and meditation in from 12:45 to 1:15 so that you can then jump over to the Zoom workshop you signed up for. That is what I will be doing likely. At 2:45, after the spiritual toolbox sessions, join the YouTube live stream, jump back from Zoom to YouTube for meditation led by Rabbi Scott with chanting, poetry, and silence. It's a really great time to break from the liturgy and simply pray from the words in our hearts. I enjoy that quite a lot. At 3:15 p.m. is the healing service this year called A Warm Blanket, led by Jeremy Samuels and our band. It's a great opportunity for all to experience and express heartfelt prayers of love, hope, and fear, and some really moving music. The Yizkor Memorial Service follows at 4:30 p.m. And accompanying this will be a truly wonderful and moving and beautiful slideshow. So I hope everybody is able to log in and tune in for that. It's a really moving experience. At 5:15 p.m. is the Nila service where we sing, pray, we remember, and we redouble our focus on becoming our best selves. That's a lot to do, but I will be there to do my best. And finally, at 6 p.m. is Havdalah, where we close out Yom Kippur with the ritual of lights, spices, and wine, hoping that our greatest self-discoveries of these days linger and inspire our senses. After that, you are able to partake of all of the spices and wine you would like. Like I said earlier, I've just handed you a lot of information, but everything is on our website, cskhouston.org. On the homepage, there'll be a big link in purple, I think it is, and it will take you to everything you need to know. And if you have further questions, our resident know anything and everything Genius Holly can help, so send her an email. A couple more things. Sukkot Shabbat next Friday, 6:15 Oneg and 6:30 p.m. services led by Rabbi, this time in his driveway. So the location will be special, with music by Kelly Dean. And Journey, the opening day is Sunday, October 4th at 10 a.m. If you have kiddos you want to register, please get in touch with Holly. She will set you up. That's all I've got, guys. Thanks. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, Colin. So I think many of you know that I like stories. I'm very fond of stories. For me, central to teaching, central to understanding life, has to do with stories. It's how our brains function. We're always telling ourselves stories. Some of them are true and some of them aren't true. And many of the stories we tell aren't exactly true, or at least aren't exactly what we'd call journalistically accurate. But they are shaded by our emotions and by our experiences and by our limited viewpoint of a particular issue. And I think, as many of us have discovered in our lives, stories that we tell about our lives, that those kind of stories that we share, that maybe a story that happened to us when we were 20, but it's one of those foundational stories of our lives that we might tell it to anybody we meet after about 10 minutes or an hour. But the way we tell it and the way we understand it is often quite different at 25 than the way we tell it and understand it at 35 and 45 and so forth. And I think that is one of the essential elements of Torah. We read, we reread, we tell, and we retell these stories. And the really powerful part of that is that if you're paying attention, They speak to us in different ways. This is true with books, with movies, seeing something as a child, as an adult, and then seeing it through our child's eyes. This is very true about Torah. It's also very true about stories and legends, and even nonfiction stories. There's a story that's told about Louis Brandeis, in which he was recognized as truly brilliant, but often given a hard time because of his Jewish identity. He lived after all in the late 19th and early 20th and into the 20th century. His fellow Harvard students, he was the only Jewish student there. His fellow Harvard students would sit down with him and they would tell him how brilliant he is. And that if only he weren't a Jew, he could truly become one of the great justices in all of the United States of America. In his final year of law school, he was actually invited to join the very prestigious Harvard Honors Society. And on the evening of when he was to be inducted into the Honors Society, he stood up at the lectern and everyone was silent. Everyone was waiting for him to speak, and finally, at the moment of his choosing, he shared that he's sorry. He shared that he was sorry that he was born a Jew. And the room erupted in applause. There was an explosion of shouting and cheers, and people saying to themselves, "Isn't it wonderful? We've convinced him. Finally, he has come to see our point." Brandeis waited for the excitement to abate, and then he repeated himself, "I'm sorry that I was born a Jew, but only because I wish I could have had the privilege of choosing Judaism on my own." No applause this time. No explosion of shouting and cheers. Just silence. And then, when it got really uncomfortable, the members of this exclusive Harvard Honors Society began to stand, but they didn't walk out. Instead, they were awed by Brandeis's convictions and strength of character and his unequivocal voice. And the members, they gave him a standing ovation. This is a story in a book of stories, of one of many books of stories that I have, that I've been reading over the years. I've read this story, I've told this story maybe once before. But in reading it this year, in the last month or so, I was struck by how differently I sort of read the punchline, so to speak. The part where he says, "I wish I could have been not born a Jew, so I could have chosen to be a Jew." But in essence, Louis Brandeis, in that moment, he was choosing to be a Jew. He was choosing to out himself as a Jew, unapologetically, brazenly, bravely. And he became one of the greatest Supreme Court justices, fighting for the little one, fighting for the vulnerable, for the weak. His decisions, his leadership fundamentally changed American jurisprudence for the better. But I read this story this year differently, because I thought, here is this white Jewish man. He did have a choice. He could have chosen not to express his Judaism. He could have chosen not to affiliate with the Jewish people. And certainly his colleagues would have joined with joy and celebration. in the wake of racial injustice, in the wake of the awareness of racial injustice, in the wake of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and so far too many, in the wake of misogyny seeming to be okay again at the national level. I read this story differently this year. Because the truth is, what a privilege Brandeis had to be able to choose to identify himself as a Jew. Because he could have walked through the world untouchable as a white man. And what struck me about this isn't the reading itself, but is the way in which we come to read the same stories differently in light of different circumstances. That is the privilege of being white and being male in our world. That you can choose. I've come across a lot of people, not a lot, but a good number of people who are struggling with this idea. After all, he was Jewish. He had his own struggles. Yes, of course he did. But the events of late shine a light on a story like this. This is to take nothing away from Louis Brandeis's advancements and what he had to work against to be successful as a Jewish man. And if we're struggling to understand, well, what is really the crux of this whole discussion about white fragility, and this whole discussion about trying to level the playing field and trying to create a more fair and just society? Well, the measure of a more fair and just society will be when everyone, regardless of their gender, orientation, color of skin, nationality, when there isn't a human being who doesn't have a choice about how he or she wishes or how they wish to identify themselves. And I think my prayer tonight is that we continue to read the stories of Torah, of our heritage, of our tradition, and allow ourselves to see them in different frames, with different influences, in different contexts. Because the stories, they're still relevant as long as we are willing to allow them to transform in how they impact us in each and every decade that passes. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to go right to Kaddish. And I want to invite you to please write in the names of people whom you are thinking of at this time. And I invite everyone to please write in read the names that are written into the chat to assure all of us that these names are being remembered, reconnected. Yitkadal v'yikadash shmei Rabbah. V'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechonu v'yamechonu v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. B'agalav yizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'mei almaya. יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה. תאמירן בימה ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen. May the one who makes peace in the high places make peace upon us, upon all Israel and all the world, and let us say amen. And we're going to conclude our service with this beautiful rendition of Anim Amin Hannah.
I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. And I believe in love, even when there's no one there. And I believe in God, even when He is silent. I believe with perfect faith. Ani ma'amin be'emunah shlema. Ani ma'amina be'emunah shlema. I believe through any trial there is always a way. But sometimes in this suffering and hopeless despair, my heart cries for shelter, to know someone's there. But a voice rises in me saying, hold on, my child, I'll give you strength, I'll give you hope, just stay a little while. Ani ma'amin be'emunah shlema. Ani ma'amina be'emunah shlema. May there someday be sunshine, may there someday be happiness, may there someday be love, may there someday be peace, may there someday be sunshine, may there someday be happiness, may there someday be love, may there someday be peace. I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. And I believe in love, even when there's no one there. And I believe in God, even when He is silent. I believe with perfect faith. Ani ma'amin be'emunah shlema. Ani ma'amina be'emunah shlema. May there someday be sunshine, may there someday be happiness, may there someday be love, may there someday be peace, may there someday be sunshine, may there someday be happiness, may there someday be
If you have wine before you, please hold it. If you don't, I encourage you to do it later. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri agafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Nitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidasha mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. Now everybody on mute. And we sing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Thank you, Hannah.
Good job.
Thank you,
Shabbat
Hannah.
shalom.
Shabbat
shalom,
Hannah.
Thank you,
We
Hannah.
will see you all on Sunday night.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Hannah.
Hannah,
Hannah's voice is magnificent.
everybody that made it.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
You know-
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Hannah, Richard and Jerry and Jay were all on the Starship Enterprise.